Okay, hello, it's Miss Polhanke, and today we're going to be going over how to organize all the sources that you've been collecting, how to start making sense of it in terms of how you want to present it in your paper. So this is kind of like the organization part. Because I know kind of a lot about animal rights, I'm going to do a sample based on an animal rights topic. Okay, so I have a thesis, and this is my thesis here. My thesis sentence is as follows. Humans have a moral obligation to avoid harming animals by eating them, wearing them, experimenting on them, using them for entertainment, or abusing them in any other way, because animals have the capacity to suffer in the same way and to the same degree that humans do. And I did get that from PETA.org in the About PETA section. That citation here is not in MLA format yet, but I'm just putting it there as a reminder to myself that I did borrow information for my thesis from PETA. Here is the website I went to, and if I clicked on it, I'd go right to PETA's website in the About PETA section. Okay. And what I did is I cut and pasted some things that I thought would be helpful for my paper right from their website. That's why it's kind of all in different fonts and colors. It looks a lot like that. What I've done already is in blue highlight, I've highlighted central ideas, and I also have a comment here. I thought this right here might be a great hook for my first sentence of my entire paper. When it comes to pain, love, joy, loneliness, and fear, a rat is a pig, as a dog is a boy. Each one values his or her life and fights the knife. I just think that's poetic and profound and beautiful. And Ingrid Newkirk is an expert in the field. She's probably the most famous animal rights person there is living right now. So I've done that. And of course, I've only gone to one source. You're going to have many different sources that you combine into making your paper and proving your point. Now, this is an opinion. Okay, it's not a fact. I've stated it as if it's fact. Humans have a moral obligation to avoid harming animals. Some people think, no, they don't. Okay, so again, your thesis sentence is typically one sentence. Even though this is a long sentence, it is one sentence. And it is one sentence, and it is an opinion that I've stated as if it's fact. Okay, I didn't put I think or I believe, and I didn't state it as a question. All right, so how am I going to organize this? What I want to do is create an outline. I want to start creating an outline. And when you create an outline, you leave a space for your introduction. Okay, your introduction is going to have a hook, some context, which is a little bit about the subject, and then finally your thesis sentence. And I may actually take this hook right here and copy it and put it right here because I may want to keep that as my hook. Okay, so your introduction paragraph is going to be called Roman numeral 1 because that's going to be your first full paragraph. And then I'm going to label these A, capital B, and capital C. Notice how I'm using tabs. I do a Roman numeral, then a tab, a letter, then a tab. And just to make this look good, I'm going to move that all so it's just lined up like all nice there, see? So in my introduction, I have a hook, a context, and a thesis. All right. The next part is, of course, the body, where most of your paper is going to be. I'm going to take that colon out. Okay. Now this is where I really have to start organizing my thoughts. What am I trying to prove? I'm trying to prove that humans have a moral obligation to avoid harming animals. And then this is kind of fitting neatly into a nice outline form. We're talking about eating, wearing, experimenting, and using them for entertainment or abusing. So I'm going to make these all separate paragraphs in the body. I'm going to call that Roman numeral A. Now, once you start a new Roman numeral, the letters begin again. I wouldn't use this as D, okay, continuing on from this C. I've started a new Roman numeral, so I'm going to start a new letter. So I'm going to talk about wearing, eating them. Okay, notice how each little, when I tab these, this is capitalized, capital, 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 okay, eating them. My next thing is going to be wearing them. Then I'm going to talk about experimenting on them, D, using them for entertainment, and E, abusing them in any other way. I suppose, what do I mean by abusing them in any other way? I suppose I'm talking about, oh gosh, hunting, oh geez, hunting, oh, trapping, neglecting, things like that. I haven't really fully thought that one out yet. But notice how under E, abusing them in any other way, when I wanted a subcategory under E, I moved from Roman numeral to capital letter to, this is actually called Arabic numeral. Okay. And if I wanted to go even further under hunting, let's say I wanted to talk more about hunting. I would do lowercase letter gun hunting and bow hunting and maybe big game hunting. Okay, so notice how if I want to go further into this, I go from Roman numeral to capital letter to Arabic numeral. The next one in I go to is lowercase letter. And if you wanted to go even further in, which you don't need to do at all, you start by going like that. And then if you want to go even further in, you'd go like that. Most, you probably won't get that far. So let's just erase that. And I'll keep that for right now. Okay, so after that, I'm going to want to have a conclusion. Okay, and I'm just going to restate the thesis or revisit the thesis. And then maybe call to action, something like that. There's a lot of different, we'll go over conclusions again. Okay, so let's focus more on this body. Right now I am gonna get rid of that. I'm starting to think as I look at this, I've got so much to worry about in just these 4 main categories. This one could go on and on forever. I'm just going to get that one out. I'm just going to put that one out. Okay. So, eating them. PETA says it focuses on 4 main areas. Factory farms has to do with eating. Clothing trade has to do with wearing. Laboratories have to do with experimenting. And the entertainment industry has to do with using animals in entertainment. So, under eating, I am going to want to put factory farming. Okay? Under wearing, I'm going to put the clothing trade. Under experimenting, I'm going to put laboratories. And under entertainment, I'm going to put entertainment industry. Okay. So far, I like that. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else I want to use here. Oh, I need to talk about animals suffer, how they suffer. I'm going to want to get anatomical, I think. I need to prove somehow that animals suffer like humans do and get medical about it. So I'm going to talk about pain in animals, and I'm going to talk about just pain in general. Pain or suffering. I'm going to talk about pain in animals. How about humans first? And pain in animals. So this is now going to become a B. This is going to become a C. This is going to become a D. And this is going to become an E. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. And what I want to prove here is I happen to know that humans and animals share maybe 99 point something % of the same genetics. We have the same pain receptors. And this goes along with my thesis because pain causes suffering, and animals have the capacity to suffer in the same way and the same degree that humans do. So I have to prove first that animals suffer like humans do. Before I even get to now how do we stop suffering by stopping eating them, wearing them, experimenting on them, and using them in the entertainment industry. Let me see. It's talking here about we're predisposed or prejudiced by our parents and tradition, okay, to think of animals one way or humans the other way, or dogs one way, like I wouldn't eat a dog, but I'd eat a cow, and it's the same way you think of, PETA is associated the same way you'd think of prejudice in race, in gender, and sexual orientation. So I am going to want to have something in here about prejudice. Maybe I'll start with, no, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. So I am going to have something in here about prejudice and where we get our core values from family and from, I guess, traditional ways of looking at something. So now, of course, this is going to become my C, my D, my E, my F, And I'm not going to really want to leave it at that. I'm going to want to offer some solutions. Because some people may say, I don't want to hurt animals, but I can't stop eating them. I won't wear fur, and maybe I won't go to the circus, but I can't stop eating them. Well, maybe you should offer solutions to all these 4 things. Not eating animals. Not wearing animals. Not supporting companies that experiment on animals. Not supporting entities like the circus or maybe SeaWorld that exploit animals for money. Okay. So it looks to me like I'm off to a good start. Now, technically, if you're going to write a good outline, do you see here how I have a 1 without a 2? A 1 without a 2, a 1 without a 2. You should really try to have a couple different things under a subtitle, just because it makes for a more solid argument. Now, I know this is old and outdated, okay, but I use this example back when Michael Jackson was accused of being a pedophile. One kid came forward, and the public was like, oh, let's just use Bill Cosby. This is more timely. Okay, so the first person who came forward and said Bill Cosby sexually assaulted me, drugged me, and sexually assaulted me. Oh, we might go, oh, she's a gold digger. No way. He's America's dad. Never, never, never. Well, then we get another person, and another person, and another person coming forward. So now we're like, okay, you're providing more evidence to support your opinion, so I'm starting to believe you more. That's the same concept here, okay? If you have a 1, you have to have a 2. If you have an A, you have to have a B. But right now I'm not thinking of a way to put a 2 in there. I suppose if I put more thought into it, I could rearrange this in such a way that I would have it completely parallel like that. Okay, so this is what I mean by starting this, so with an outline. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.